Hello, everybody. We are live again. This is Dr. Leland. And yes, we are live again. I know. We were live yesterday. So remember, every Wednesday and Thursday, we are live at 9 a.m. PST. And last night, if you saw me live, it's with my brother Tim because I do special events at night for my brothers and sisters on the other side of the continent, right? Rather than having them wake up at 3 a.m. their time. So, anyhow, today I have a very special guest. And literally, let me tell you, like the last, what, 2 minutes, I just found out a couple of really cool things. And I cannot believe that was like a hidden gem that I didn't even know. I didn't even see that on his LinkedIn profile. Anyhow, this is our intro as always. Welcome to Level Up Academy podcast, where we explore the diverse set of skills that can be applied across various industries and professions. Each episode will deep dive into the world of transferable skills, discussing topics like communication, problem solving, critical thinking, and more. Join us as we speak with experts in different fields and share stories of individuals who have successfully transferred their skills from one industry to another. Whether you're a recent grad, a mid-career professional, or someone looking to make a career change, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and let's discover how you can leverage your existing skills to excel in any industry. Welcome to Level Up Academy podcast. This is your host, Dr. Leland, a serial educator, an opportunities designer, and a compassionate leader.
Are you a career student eager to learn new skills and make your mark on the world? Or are you a professional seeking to advance your career and unlock your potential? You need to be equipped with effective soft skills like communication, problem solving, teamwork, and more. The Level Up Academy by Dr. Leland bridges the gap between education and employment through transferable skills training. Get the soft skills you need to be more effective at work.
Hello, everybody. Welcome again. I'm so glad that you're here. So, you already know I do my shout outs, okay? I'm sure you guys are seeing my shout outs here. The first one is my sister, Samantha. And I just spoke with her. I'd literally just hang up like, I don't know, 5 minutes, and it's midnight over there. So I apologize for my dog. They're just going crazy right now. But if you are not connected with her, these are the connections that I want you guys to be intentional because they are. Um, I don't want to say like, oh my God, they're super, super special, but they are super special to me because I vetted them. And it's if you know me and my character, I don't just connect with people that I don't really connect or vibe in, right? And if I don't know what they stand for, I will never put them in this list for sure. I have a lot to put on this list. So forgive me if you're not on my list and you're like, oh my God, you didn't even put me on the list. You will be. It's just that the people who are coming to my live shows, who are commenting on my post, those are the people that are actually fresh on my head, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta put them in this list. So that's literally how I work. Whoever is constant in my life is the one that's going to be on my list for sure, but Samantha is one of those people that's constant cheerleader, right, for everybody, not just for me. Another one is my sister. She's working right now, so she's probably not watching, but she's definitely a team replay. Nicole and I have a project called 50 Inspirational Connections on LinkedIn. And please, I nominate anybody who's in here in this live and nominate people that you think that are who's inspirational so that we can elevate them, so we can blast them. I'll put them on my summit. I'm trying to get a global summit going by October. I'm putting applications on that as well. So I have a lot of projects going on. And my goal really is to elevate anyone and everyone through your story, right? And don't be afraid. It is the first thing that you have to do is go through that wall of uncertainty, uncomfortableness, and not knowing. Just know that I am here for you and I have a team of tribe, my people, right? I call them my tribe because they are amazing people. We can move mountains. And there's opportunities left and right. You just have to take it. There is no fee. People are asking, like, is there a fee? I know you guys are so used to like paying people to do a shout out or anything like that. There is no fee on my projects on the 50 inspirational. There's no fee. I just want to give back to my community, and the fastest that I can elevate you is through this project. So this is your moment. This is your chance to go out and say, yep, this is my story, I own it, and I want to help you and I want to inspire you through my journey. So Nicole and I have that project. The third one is Sia. Okay. Sia, don't want to be. Sorry, sis. I had to say that. If you need help on your digital productions when it comes to streaming and things like that, please DM her. She is very knowledgeable. Her background is in technology, and SonicWall, HP. Those are the companies that she used to work for. So go ahead and hit up Sia. Dr. Nupi show, I believe it's 12 p.m. PST. She is all about elevating other women as well, right? And Lachelle would say collaboration over competition. So, yes, I collaborate with all my brothers and sisters who have a show because we need to be heard, and all of the people that we have need to be heard. And that's what we are doing. There's 7 billion people out there and growing, right? And if you know 7 billion, that's a lot, and we're not reaching that many people, right? So we have to collaborate to reach that many people with our messages of positivity. John, I did not know, okay, that he's probably like scratching his head why I put this up right now. But he is on Spotify. He was 24. And I'm not gonna tell you, okay, this is your trivia for today. I'm not gonna tell you which one over here is John. You guys gonna tell me. Okay, so number one would be this guy with the hat. Number two would be this guy right here with the sleeveless. Number three is this guy with the shades. And number four is this guy, right? And this is John. So give me your number. Where do you think John is? And pretty cool music, by the way. John is the guy that we're going to talk today, right? The man of the hour. Of course, my sister Marilyn, she does a lot. She's in Singapore. If you're not connected with her, please connect. Another one is Stephanie Delfonso, amazing human. Another one is my educational sisters. They are. This is Christine and Kristen, okay? And of course, my student, my friend Michelle, she's a transformational coach. She went through cancer, divorce, moving, you name it, right? She can help you at least talk through life. And of course, my brother Christian, my 2D animator, he's the one who did my 2D animation. If you need, okay, somebody who listens to you and not complain to every changes that I ask, he will do the same job for you. I guarantee, just like Dr. Leland sent me. Timothy was my brother last night. Okay. First of all, he said he's an introvert. So that means that makes me an introvert. Yeah, okay. My kids did not buy that. But hey, maybe I am an introvert. I just don't know it yet. Okay. My brother Olu, he's also in Nigeria, and he is a web developer. He's actually, we are doing research phase right now to create a membership for me. I want to be the Netflix of education. That's my goal. I'm putting it out there and I'm living it out there. I want to help everyone get educated in an affordable way. Some of the classes that I teach would cost you $5,000 to $10,000. There's no way that you could elevate and level up in that amount of money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale it down in my company that I have control over, so you can get an education. There is no accreditation on it yet. I'm working on that as well. But you get an education where it has transferable skills. It is not just based on theory. My sister Susanna, if you want to think outside the box, please connect with her. Amazing human. Paul, I mean, you see Paul everywhere. I mean, he's 26, but he's 66, 96, 106, I think. Right? He's going to comment in here soon, like, you could be as old as my mama. Please stop. Okay. But I am. That's so true. Knowledgeable, friendly, and also very amazing intellect. And he's definitely mature for his age. He surrounds himself with smart women, smart men out there, and that is the reason why, right? Oh, by the way, Paul, I think I'm going to do karaoke later. I'll post it. About the mountain. I just realized what you just said, and I'm like, I know that song. It's in my head. So I will post it later. And don't laugh at my karaoke mad skills, okay? Peter Quill, best CEO out there, leadership, owns his own business from the tab. I believe he said they're in 23 nations or 23 countries so far. And so if you need any business help, any type of peer group, pretty much business where they talk about how to navigate within your business, what is missing in your business, creating that mission that you might need just a jump and help. Go ahead and talk to Peter. Janice, I know she's not here. She's moving her son. Good luck to you, sis. But I will always have a shout out with this lady because I bought her pillowcase. If you snore, right? It helps me with my snoring because the pillowcase itself has a little lumbar in your neck. So when you put it like that, it actually elevates so your tongue's not, blocking your airwaves and stuff. So it's really good. Airways is something that your tongue comes out and you just keep snoring. Well, this one helps it. So if you haven't, contact Janice. Okay. Kirsten Beck, love her because she basically is using words and the power of words to create visibility and value and trust for your clients. Deborah Jackson is my energy sister. Amazing. Lonnie Ray and her are my energy sisters. I always have a smile from ear to ear when I have them. Mike. I mean, what are you going to say with Mike, right? If you're not connected with Mike, you have to connect with Mike. We have a lot going brewing in the Hounds right now, right? Hounds of Business. Now, Raquel has a show on Saturday. Sister, can you put in the comments if you're here what time it is on Saturday? She's another woman that we can collaborate because she elevates people, right? To help them to put their stories out there, to stay positive despite of life circumstance and adversity. Lachelle, 15 kids. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, if you're not connected with her, connect. Michael Gale, love. Okay, so I've been thinking about Pilates now instead of yoga because I do yoga at 5:30 in the morning. Even if I sleep at 2 a.m., I will get up at 5:30 to do yoga. I have to. And I also do meditation. But Michael Gale is the man for outdoors everything. Donald Cohen, Grandpa Don, right? Showing you some love, sir. Another one that has really great podcast live every day, 8 a.m. my time. So Eastern, that's what, 11. Johanna Renee, and these two, my sisters of art. I love it. Thank you so much for all your share, right from the heart. I love it. Thank you so much for that. By the way, Johanna's birthday and my birthday is 7/11. Just saying, we might need a gift, guys. Like, get some love out there, right? But 7/11 is our birthday. That's why I call her Twinsy, okay? And of course, Natalie. And Catherine Chadwick, I had a chat yesterday. She will be on my show next month. Amazing human. I cannot wait for you guys to know her story. And Jackie, you've heard Jackie yesterday. She said she was scraping, okay? She was a waitress scraping dirt, and now she makes six figures. If you haven't listened to it, listen to that replay on YouTube. Look at this too. They had a real, I'm so jealous. They met in real life yesterday and they posted it. And so I want you guys to know that in our group, in our tribe, we don't just do LinkedIn and DMs and WhatsApp. We literally try to meet up in person. Amazing human being right there. Soaring Profits, if you're not in there connected, connect. They need more connections and followers, people. Let's go. Let's go. Today, right now. Dale, amazing human. I know he's very picky on picking who his tribe is, and I'm glad I'm picked in his tribe, right? Dale is funny. I love his accent. Wilson, thank you so much for what you have given me. He just out of the blue gave me a DM and created a little art, I guess, from Canva for me. And thank you. That was a great gift. Maureen, are you in here? I'm hoping you're in the room. Can you put your June 14th event? Let's help Maureen. It is about mom that who are basically at home mompreneurs, any type of moms that trying to do business. Maureen is helping her community and our world please connect with Maureen, ask her, blast her DM about your information and questions. But June 14th, she has an event and hopefully she'll put it on the comments. And then this is what Wilson gave me yesterday. Isn't that nice? I know. I'm going to stop now because we need our guest to be here. Are you ready? Is my guest ready? I don't know. Oh my God. See, look at that smile. You can't buy that smile. How are you doing, John?
I'm awesome. It's so great to be here.
Yes.
Really,
Yes.
truly.
I have so many comments in here already, and I'm like, oh man, I am just slow right now. So yeah, we had a conversation sideline I didn't know about. I'm like, what? You're a rock star? Oh my gosh, there's so many stories about that. But first, go ahead and tell us who you are. And then this is my first question. I'm gonna leave it there. Tell me who you are, and then think back 20 years ago and find within your timeline significant changes in your life that got you here today where you are.
Oh my gosh, that's actually an easy one. So, well, first, thanks for being, for having me. I'm always, I mean, it's just humbling, and I'm extremely grateful to be a guest. You kill it, by the way. I'm learning so much just watching. Like, we had a conversation beforehand, and I'm leveling up just literally watching what you do. So, it's killer. I don't know. I don't know how.
Uh-oh. I think John is frozen. Is it me or is it John? Can you guys tell me? Is the internet going out? Are we not here? John? I think we're still stuck. Can you guys tell me if is it just me or is it John? Uh, oh, it is John. Okay. I was like trying to switch internet here. Okay. So while we're waiting for John to see ya, woohoo. I know, right? Christian, thank you, my brother. Hopefully you saw my DM. Maureen, did you actually put your information in here in terms of your show or not show event on June 14th? Please put him in there. I love Samantha. I know she's probably sleeping right now. Nicole, I know, right? Oh no, she's not sleeping. She's here. Midnight her time. Hates mobile devices, right? Seriously. I don't know what's happening. Yes, Christine, sister, I love you. Just so you know, because you are helping leveling up our community, your community, and everybody else. So I appreciate that so much. Level up. Just crashed. John said his internet literally just crashed. No big deal. Deo, yes, right? This is a great show. I'm actually gonna be probably just talking about shows today. Oh, I love this show where internet just crash on everyone. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I know Cynthia's just like, "Oh no, what happened?" Nord's, yeah, I don't know what's happening either. So this is actually John's internet just crashed. So it's no big deal. But here's what I'm gonna tell you in terms of financial and also making sure that today we still dedicate our time to add value conversation. Okay. And I want to give you a valuable conversation since you even are here today. Now, I was going to ask John about, he actually wrote a book. I don't know if you guys look at his profile, but he wrote a book on ManUp, right? Like literally all about that. And so I wanted to make sure that you guys know that when it comes to adding value conversation, that you guys are able to provide value every day by being kind, right? Kindness is everywhere, but you have to find it in your heart to do it. And I also wanted to talk about the 50 inspirational connections project. Since we're waiting for John, I don't know if he's able to come back or not, but I want to talk and take this time um, to basically make sure, right? Make sure that you guys know what it means to me and what it means to Nicole. The show, I mean, not the show, but the whole entire project actually came about when we had a conversation that we were talking about, okay, guys, we're going to be having elevating our community. You know, there's so many people suffering from depression and anxiety and just overwhelm. My community, and I'm sure your community, is full of people who lost their jobs. And when losing your job, that's a hard thing to do. So, a lot of people, like right now, I want to give Cynthia Nordstrom a shout out. If you guys know of a job that she can have, please let her know and let me know. I want to help her get her a job out there. She wants, this is Cynthia, she wants to get a job as an assistant. Her background is in real estate. She did graphic design back years ago. But I want to make sure that when I do this project of 50 inspirational, it came about and it was born in a conversation based on Nicole's story. I was so inspired by her story. Like, you know, she is this person and she didn't expect anything. She went to LinkedIn and kind of just put herself and her journey out there of what is happening with her. And when she basically got her story, um, because it's the human side of her that people see that they too are going through, and she's just, I mean, her knee is just in pieces, right? And she still kept her spirit literally in like 2 3 months of what she's done, right? And she has elevated herself. She got a book deal, she got, you know, her graphics design, business now. And when I sit back and relax, it doesn't really take years and years and years and years for some people to show up for themselves. I think what's happening is that you are really, it's hard for people to grasp other people's success when they see it so quickly. But what you don't see about that success is the suffering 10 years, 5 years, 20 years, 40 years, all their lives. They're suffering all their lives. And I really truly believe that when you're not ready for that moment, you feel all that rejection at all times. But when you are ready for that moment, and you know when you're ready, because you are actually thinking like this is, think of a line and you're here and this line and then whatever that you want to do. When you get your feet just in that line and you're like, I don't know if I should do it. I don't know if I should do it. I'm going to be that voice in your head that said, do it. Do it anyway, right? What is the worst thing that can happen? If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. I know that's a song. Sia's probably saying that. Literally, make sure that when you are given that opportunity, think about this. You could die right now. I know it sounds morbid. You could die right now walking on the street getting hit, right? But where is your impact? What legacy are you leaving? I hear all these things right now everywhere about like dying and things like that. And make sure that when you are leaving this earth, we're already full of technology, that you are making an impact and a legacy for your great, 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 great grandkids out there, right? So make sure that whatever you're doing right now, think of what message are you leaving the world? What is your impact and legacy? And this 50 inspirational project, I'm hoping that whoever you are is listening, think back. What is the 5 minutes of your life that you're going to give to the world a message? And with that in mind, John is back. See, I can run on. I can be here all myself, but it's not about me. It's about my people here, right? So let's put John back. Hello.
Oh my gosh. So God love AT&T, and yeah. So literally, my entire internet at the house is down. I hopped up on a cell phone, so I'm hoping this comes through. I apologize. How
Oh
terrible.
no. No, don't feel terrible. It is fine because I can talk all day. It's no big deal. But let's go back and know you. Let's go back and know you a little bit and think about this question.
So it's funny that you say 20 years. So I'll share a little bit of just me and what happened 20 years ago. So, you put up the whole band thing. I for the longest time thought I was going to be a rock star. I really did. That was my goal. I was a music major in college, and I grew up 45 minutes from Manhattan. So the whole tri-state area was, kind of, where you were going to get it done. So I was teaching music. I was a public school band director by day and chasing a dream of being a rock star at night. And I did that for a very long time. And then at 27, 26 was like, all right, I'm really good at this teaching thing. I have a passion for helping people. I loved being a teacher at the time. And, at 27, 26, I was like, all right, I probably should, stop doing this rock star thing. We had gotten really close, which is what you see on Spotify. And then, there was a slow decline. And the music business was so different back then. But 27 married, 28 house, 29 daughter, 32 master's degree, 33 son, like everything that, you do, what I call the middle class, trap. I went in, and I was told, work hard every day and you'll be successful. And I did that. I ran an entire music program at the pinnacle of my career at 33. Literally, I was in charge of an entire school's music program. I was working 12 to 15 hours a day, 6 days a week. Literally, I was never home. My kids were in daycare, marriage falling apart. I mean, it was just bad, making, very little money for the work that was being put in. And at the time I went to my pastor and I said, something's just not right. I did everything that I was told to do from a success standpoint, and life is not, really good. And he gave me a book called Wild at Heart, and that book changed my life. And so literally November of this year will mark 20 years that I personally resigned my teaching position. We sold our home, moved here to Florida from Connecticut, and at 33 years old with no job, nothing, started over. And 2 weeks later, I stumbled into an office for financial education, and I saw what was not being taught to people like me. And I got so angry. I was like, that's what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. And that's how our financial practice got launched, which come January will be 20 years. So it's crazy how, we just took that step. I heard somebody say it's the audacity of youth. And that clearly sums up where we were. We were just like, you know what, we're young enough, let's do it, and we'll figure it out as we go. And I teach that all the time. Just step, and the next opportunity will present itself.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that. And I picked 20 years. Someone actually got offended that I picked 20 years. Of like, I'm so young, there's no 20 years of my life. And I'm like, well, then pick about what memory that you have with your parents. Like that's the thing with my 20 years. It's because it's a happy spot for a lot of people. Like I'm hitting 20 years of my marriage this year, and so it's like that 20-year mark seems to be the happy spot for everyone, where you could see the timeline of your life progress, right? From whatever you were doing to whatever you're doing. But there's always something constant in your life. It's that hunger to do what? I don't know. But now we know when we're a little bit older, like we need to help each other. need to help people. And that's what you're doing is you're helping your community, our world, to level up because you're like, I had this problem. No one ever gave me this thing. What is happening here? Right. So I'm so
Yeah.
glad that you did that. Now I'm gonna go to the next question is what is the first step someone should take when they decide to improve their financial situation? And we're gonna go a little bit about what you created with your book and also your podcast as well.
Sure. Well, financially, I think the decision number one to improve is like the biggest step, right? Like change never happens without the desire to do so. So whenever somebody's like, all right, I gotta improve this situation, that's such a monumental step to say, I'm going to do something about it. I think the second thing is seek guidance, right? Like seek out a coach. We I see often so many times that when it comes to finances, we're not seeking help. Like it's this private taboo thing that we shouldn't discuss. And it's the thing I think, money it's like oxygen, right? You need it and you need to do well with it. And it wasn't until I learned how many people were ripping me off that I decided to get educated and find those mentors. And so I think mentorship is a really, really big deal. Make sure it's somebody who knows what they're doing. You can research that. There's so much transparency now to find who that person is. But number one, right, seek out a coach. I think that's the first step. And then obviously there's other steps, but that's a big one.
Okay. Cynthia, is it man up or man up?
It is man up already.
Yeah.
The already is key. Like it's like, will you please freaking do so now?
Right. Yesterday. It was yesterday. Okay. Let's talk
Right,
about that. How
right.
did you create your book? I was like, what happened? What transpired between, from the beginning to the end?
Yeah. So the book came about in my financial business. I had an opportunity to mentor and coach a lot of people. And I'm passionate about entrepreneurship and just, if things aren't working, change. And sometimes when you change, change is not comfortable, right? Like there's a point with us as human beings that we're going to hit that place where everything we know and everything we are is not enough to get us to the next level. And in mentoring and coaching people, what I started to notice around 2015 was men would hit that point and shrink back from that moment. And women would hit that point and kick into another gear. And I found that very interesting. Like, that's not how I grew up with. Like, if there's another level, then freaking dig in, man. Like, man up is not, it's abused, but it's like inside of you is the ability to do so in everybody. But I'm a man, right? So in how I grew up, like excuses don't matter. You've got to dig in and get to that next level. And I started to see this pattern of people not. So that was kind of brewing. And I met somebody and they're like, oh, you need to write a book. And I said, if I'm going to write a book, it's not going to be financial. The book is going to be about who men are created to be. I really, truly believe in the divine design of men and women and what's inside there and what is suppressed and what needs to come out. So that's where the idea of the book came from. And from thought to print, it was 4 months. It flew out of me in what I wanted to say.
Wow. That's pretty awesome. Is it an Amazon, by the way, John?
Yeah. Yep. Just make sure the already is the key word. There's a lot of man up stuff out there, but there's only one thing called man up already.
Yeah, and you have to look at his name, okay, for the author. if you guys are
Right.
looking at that, to make sure that you basically do that. Now, for me, I think I love that book, that even the title, like I haven't read it up already, and what is the premise about it? Like, can you tell us a little bit? I don't want you to tell me the whole thing, but like, kind of get a synopsis or a summary of like what is in the book. What is the value that you're trying to provide your reader?
Sure. Yeah, that's happy to share. So I speak all the time that I call it success is built on a chassis, right? Like there's fundamental things when it comes to living a successful life that I think are universal everywhere. And what I was trying to say in the book is when it comes to men in particular, so the subtitle of the book is How to Live and Lead at Home and in the Marketplace, meaning who you are at home and who you are out there in the world, career-wise, whatever. There's no difference between the two. And I was really going after the hearts of men in the book, but it appeals to women as well. But what I'm saying there is, look, you have a divine design, number one. Number two, that here's what your spouse needs from you, your partner, your children, as a man, number one. And number two, there's the second half of the book focuses on what I call the 4 pillars. And those 4 pillars are, I think from a character standpoint, if you stand on the pillars of integrity, humility, authenticity, and morality, you're going to be successful in life. And so often, you see people, they're successful. And I really do think women are better at this than men because of the relational aspect that women are and the emotional aspect, and men can be taught to turn those things off. And I was one of them, especially after my father died, that it was just be successful. And so we tend to focus on, all right, I'm going to be successful in my career, but then there's other things in life that fall apart. But if you stand on humility, it's not about you. Integrity is do what you say you're going to do. Your word is your bond. Authenticity is be you, be the real you, stop being a poser. And morality is do the right thing. That I think if we stand on those pillars, then life is going to have a successful outcome because the foundation is very strong.
I love that. And before you came in, I was talking about, having the courage to push, because sometimes we have an idea and we want it. We get so excited. We talked about it with our friends. We got even more excited. And then you're talking to your head and your head is like, I don't know if that's going to work. And then you talk to another friend, right, to get an affirmation if that you're in the right direction. But your friend doesn't understand what you're trying to say. And so they're going to be like, no, I don't think that's right. And then so you keep doubting yourself and you're going to that rabbit hole. And for me, I think sometimes you need to have the courage to say, what the heck, let's do it and see what happens, right? Like this project that I'm doing with 50 Inspirational Connections. I have a premise. I had a goal. I had a vision, but it's taking its own life. And I hope that the outcome, and I wish the outcome is going to be good because the intention is very good, right? But I think when you're looking at what you're doing with your book and what your actually business is doing, which is financial education, let's talk a little bit more about that in terms of financial education. How can someone create a realistic budget and stick to it?
Oh, it's one of my favorites. Let me say this as well. I'm on a cell line, and so it can be spotty. So if you lose me, I apologize. My Wi-Fi still it's just down. Look, can you hear me okay?
Yep, perfect.
Okay. When it comes to a budget, I teach what my father taught me when I said to him, I think I was 24. I'm like, I wanted to move out of the house. And he said, okay, well, and he took out a sheet of paper and, tie in what I talk about in my book, which is authenticity, be real. Take out a blank sheet of paper and literally write income. So what comes in, and be real about it. What really comes in? What are the numbers? So somebody could say, well, I make, let's round it up. I make 100,000 a year, but that's not the real number. What's the net after taxes? What's coming out? What actually comes into the home that you can count on? And then the next is obviously expenses, and be real about that. Be transparent. What is literally coming out? Dave Ramsey talks about own every dollar. I just be real. Dump it out on a piece of paper and look at the hard numbers. A budget, budgets are like diets. They're never going to work if we're not emotionally connected to them. Right? If we have to change our behaviors that are out of alignment with who we are, we're not going to stick there. So when you want to get out of debt, you get out of debt. When you want to save, you save. If the want to isn't there, it's not going to happen long term. And both of those things require a long term commitment. So I think it's about being brutally honest with what are your goals, and this is where the success on a chassis principle comes into play. Goal setting, there's wishes, there's wants, and then there's real goals. So if you want to, we moved into a new home last year, and I want to put a patio on the back, but I'm not doing the patio until certain things are taken care of. Well, guess what? I'm not motivated necessarily by taking care of the things that need to be taken care of so much as I'm emotionally motivated by building a patio, because I visualize what I want to do on the patio. I love cooking and entertaining, and I think about that all the time. So if I'm emotionally connected with the patio, well, then I'm not just going to go get in debt for the patio. I'm going to make sure certain things are taken care of. So I'm looking at my budget, and I'm looking at how, what's going to happen, planning out there. All right, so maybe the patio doesn't happen this year, it happens next year. What do I need to take care of financially to make that happen? What do I want to have in savings? What do I want to have in various other things before that happens? So because I'm emotionally connected to some results, I'm going to stick to the plan.
Okay, I love that. And for me, I think it's simple. It's debits and credits, okay? And basically, like you said, be realistic. Don't Yeah, you make $100,000, but that's not what you're taking home. You're taking home a lot of taxes. Not just taxes, but also like insurance, health insurance get taken out of there, right? And other obligations and things like that that you might have, FSA, flexible spending account, get taken out. So you have to look at what's actually coming into your bank account, right? Make sure you add those if you're paid monthly or, bi-weekly, and then see what's coming out of your budget, right? Oh, we lost John again. So that would be my thing, because I teach accounting for my students, and sometimes they get really confused on the budget of, debits and credits. For me, you don't need to have an income statement and a balance sheet to get all that going, right? You just need to make sure that you're balancing your books in terms of debits and credits, what's coming into your account and what is going out. And I think Sia was talking about this on her show. I don't remember which show, about, making sure that every single dollar counts. Like if you're seeing yourself, like I was looking at my Starbucks, I spend like, I don't know, $150 to $200 a week on Starbucks. And because my kids, oh my gosh. And sometimes I am a little bit generous. I do like give Starbucks to their friends, like 3 or 4 friends. And I take them. Remember, guys, I drive a mom van, and it's a Sprinter. So I have 12 people, including myself, in that car. So if I take them, guess what? If I go to Starbucks, it's not just gonna be my kids having Starbucks. It's gonna be my other, friends that they have to go to Starbucks. So look at your debits and credits to make sure that what's coming in, and also look at and list down things, like take those receipts and just list down, like, how much money do I spend on food, and how much money do I spend on entertainment, and how much all this money that I'm spending, right? And then you can actually make a decision to, like, oh, instead of spending $200 a month, $20 a week on Starbucks, maybe I can do that like $50, right? Not bring all the kids, not and make a rule and boundaries for your kids so you don't spend so much money. We're talking about budget, debits and credits, since you were gone. So that was my 2 cents in there. Now, my next question for you is, what are some common mistakes people make when it comes to credit cards, and how can they avoid them?
Credit cards, you need them. You need them, right? They have a function. I think credit cards need to be used, like if you're booking a trip and all that other stuff. They are not a substitute for what you have not earned. I think that's really, really key. They are not the, and I had made this mistake early on, like I joke, but it's a sad fact that before I learned everything that I learned, I had a credit card in the kitchen drawer, and that was my emergency fund. Nobody had never taught me, real, like a real plan and how it all really, really works. And I'll share a key nugget with everyone after. But I will say that I use credit, and you need to use credit. A key thing is your credit cards negatively affect your credit report, which is all your credit score, which is also important. If you're 30% above the amount that you have available to you. So if your credit cards are take the amount, and it's the whole thing, right? So let's say you have $10,000 of credit card debt. Paying off one card is not going to help. You've got to take the 10,000 down to 3,000 across the board. So it's the total number, right? It's 30%. Once your credit card debt goes above 30% of your overall debt available, that's when it becomes a challenge. So be mindful of that. If you're going to use a credit card, use it when you know you can pay it off. Don't carry and pay interest because it's not going to serve you. Now, there may be moments where you need to, but have a bona fide freaking plan to get that paid off in a short period of time.
Yeah, that's such a good, like Sia said, I wish I was needing this question when I was 18, because when we're young, nobody taught us. You don't even learn that in high school, and I think they should. Budgeting is something, and balancing your checkbook. I know we don't use checkbook anymore, but balancing your account, it should be an investment 101 on adulthood for seniors, really. And
Yeah.
I don't know why we don't teach that. We should. We wouldn't be in a debt right now. That's crazy. My next question is, investing can be intimidating. What are some key principles that beginners should know before starting to invest on anything?
Yeah. So this is where, from a compliance standpoint, I can't dive in too deep. When it comes to
No.
investing, and do your research, number one. Seek out professional advice, number two, and start small. Like I teach people, start small. Right?
Yeah.
It's better to increase over time than to make a mistake and look back on things that you regret. So get educated, seek out professional advice, start small. But more importantly, I think, look, when it comes to finances, if everything is energy, and it is, then we've got to have happy, healthy, positive money thoughts. And so everything that we need to do financially should be right organized from a space of whatever step I take next, I'm doing as a positive action versus a negative action, because they build on top of each other. You grow, right? Like I talk a lot on money as a symptom of a bigger of a thought process. So whatever's happening, like, money's like a relationship, right? Our finances are like a marriage, right? If my relationships are off, there's a reason for that. If my finances are off, there's an internal reason why that is. Not to go off on a tangent, but anything, right? If investing is growing over time, then we want to approach it in the proper manner. I can't dive into like actual money principles,
right.
because this is
We're not talking
is
about
not
those.
the platform.
Sex would be
Yeah.
in our butt right now. But I wanted to shout out to Jody. Thank you for being here, Jody. And she does structure settlement, so that's what she does for a living, and she's good at what she does. So if you guys have any settlements and you need to structure it to keep your money, hit up Jody, right? So that's for sure. That is her wheelhouse. My next question is this. This is a lot of questions that my students always get. How important is it to have an emergency fund? And what are some strategies for building one?
Oh, great. That's a great question. So how important is an emergency fund? It's the most important thing. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the number one thing I teach. You got to have an emergency fund. What are the steps to create one? Again, it starts with a goal. When I sit down with people, one of the questions I ask is, it's dark, it's late, you put your head down at night, you say, God, I'm so happy and thankful that I have X in an account, that if the tires go flat or the refrigerator blows up, I could deal with that. What is that number? And everybody's number is different. I wish I had $1,000. I wish my number is 10,000, to 20,000. It just, everybody's number is different. But what is that number for you? And that's the thing you need to start really working on. Because again, you're emotionally tied to that, right? If it's $1,000 and you have for the first time, or 5,000, whatever it is, and you go, wow, look at how much I have in cash, you feel good about that, and then you want to grow that. It says to yourself, you are saying to yourself, I can do this.
Yeah. I think we need all emergency funds. So for me, I think what we have done with my husband and I, mostly really my husband, he's good at collecting stuff. We have liquid assets that we can sell today that it would sell within 7 days. And he does collections. I don't know if you collect like sign anything, but he used to he used to be pro baseball. He
Mm.
almost went to pro. And so he loves baseball. That's his thing, right? And he hates it when I said, I like basketball better. And he's like, he gave me this look. And I'm 5 feet tall and my husband's 6'1". I'm like, okay, fine. I like baseball too. Like I get intimidated sometimes. I'm like, but when I really love my basketball game, I'm like, I don't care. I love basketball. And so he collects like crazy things I have never seen. And when I touched that $1.5 million magazine, okay? Like just little tiny magazine, 1.5 million. And I'm thinking, why would someone pay for this thing for 1.5 million? And he's like, and he had to school me on people out there all over the world who's collecting a lot of really cool stuff. And it's for me, what I got from that is it's liquid asset. But what makes me really sad is we wait for people to die so that the value of their item goes up.
Mm.
How sad that they can't even see, like Jimi Hendrix, right? My husband is actually part of the board for eBay on fake signatures. He knows everything in terms of signatures. He will get a loop. Like we have a loop. He invested on crazy loop because we have a vault for stuff like that, right? But he literally said, okay, signature is wrong. And he would report it to eBay because he's like, I feel bad for this poor people paying $10,000 on a fake signature. So
Wow.
he tries to do that. And for me, I think emergency fund is having liquid assets that you can sell if you don't have cash. And you see all those people, they're cash poor, but they're really rich. Like even the Hollywood stars, they invest on money, they invest on other things, right? So emergency fund could be not just money wise, but liquid assets. Think of those Louis Vuittons over there and Hermes and Chanel, and I can sell my purses too in 7 days, and I've done it because I collect all types of purses that are vintage or have really high value, and I can sell them quick. And I've seen it. So I see that emergency fund as liquid assets, ladies and gentlemen. So think about those things. I know we ran out of time, and today was spotty, but it's okay. This is what we do with technology. We just run with it. It's not a big deal. However, I do want to celebrate you and elevate you. And there's so many things that we have to talk about that we haven't even had a chance to talk about. So you need to definitely come back for sure.
I'd love to come back. I'm just I apologize again. It is
Don't.
technology, but
No, there is no apology needed because I can run with it. Like I said, I can talk all by myself. It's not even a big deal. I have so much to say, but here's what I want to do because I want to celebrate you. Everybody that is in my show, I want to celebrate them and I want to elevate them. So if there's anything, okay, this is it. Let's say that today is your last day on this earth. Sounds morbid, I know. But what would be your last words to impart on your family tree and the world who watches this? What would be the last imparting words that you would say?
Besides telling my family how much I love them, my last words would be two things. What other people think doesn't matter, and listen to your gut because that's where God speaks. I think those two things are the key. We worry so much about how other people are going to interpret what we do, and our gut most of the time is right.
Yeah.
I was wondering if I lost you there for a minute.
No, I'm having a pregnant pause. I know I'm like, ooh, shaky internet. No, when you said that, it kind of hits me in the right places. It's because I really had a recent friend. I'm not going to name names here, but I have recent friendship that I'm always like talking to people and helping people. I had a recent conversation and someone told me, my gut told me this and my gut told me that, but I went with it because he seemed this, he seemed that. Women, we have really superpower out there. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not a man, so I can't relate, but
No, women do have that power. I
we have
100%. You do. You have an intuition that we do not.
it's just crazy. So if your gut feeling tells you there is something wrong, do not fight it. Listen to it. Okay? Because it's often I hear it and I did it and I experience it as well when my gut tells me something is off and I watch. Sometimes it's not overnight where they show their true colors. It sometimes takes months, sometimes it's years, right? Whatever it is that you're doing today, if this is my last parting words, is listen to your intuition. Listen to your gut feeling, like what John said. Because at the end of the day, we were born alone, right? Yes, our parents was there, but you literally was birthed alone unless you have a twin, right? And you're going to die in this earth alone in that box, right? Whatever it is that you're doing. What matters the most is what impact you're giving out there, because we're going to be 100 years from now, our great 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 grandkids won't even remember us. But this might still be in that capsule for them 100 years later, right? To reflect on.
Can I add one thing to that?
Go for it.
I think, and I did put this in my book, and I think this is the thing that I so desire for people to wake up to, is that there never ever will be one of you, one of me, or anybody else out there. Like, every human being is a unique individual, right? There never has been and there never will be another one of us. And that has value. What you think, what you want to say, those things have value because they're never going to be said again. And so with the gut, it's listen, respond, right? Move forward, go with that intuition, because you expand and you grow and you have a reason and a purpose.
Yeah. And I was in the show today, and Kimberly was saying in Lachelle and Paul's show that we literally are seeds put in this earth with a purpose. And I reflected that, and I was actually crying, Kimberly, if you're listening to this, because when she was talking about her son being a miracle child, my firstborn, I almost died giving birth to her. That's why I didn't want to have kids after that. I was like, oh, I'm going to be an only child. I'm going to have an only child. Literally, I suffered from beginning to end with my firstborn. I hope she's not listening to this one somewhere, but she was born with a hole in her heart. And she had a huge 8mm like shunt on her on her quadrant, left quadrant, heart, right? And the doctor, I cried and I was like, and then she has all allergies. We went to the emergency room every single day because we couldn't figure out what her allergies was. So then we figured it out, and she had anaphylaxis a couple of times, and EpiPen was nowhere to be found at that moment. Good thing is the emergency room literally was across the street where we live in Virginia, and there's nobody in the emergency room in Virginia. It was really nice. You got like first doctor. But even when we moved to California, we knew her allergies. It got even worse. So we had to spend extra money to get her blood tested for every single thing. And she's allergic to everything. And so she's my miracle child. And she's graduating next week. Oh my God, I don't want to be emotional. But like, she had a lot of issues 2 years ago because of COVID. And the music that I shared with you before we came in, that's her music. Music saved her life. Right? And life is so precious. Whatever you're doing right now, whatever you're going through, depression, anxiety, stop. Celebrate that you're breathing. Sometimes what we do is beyond us, whatever that is. And please do not be embarrassed to ask for help. Help is there. You just need to reach out, right? You just really do. And I love you guys for being here. I thank you so much for your time. And I want John to come back. Okay. For sure, because he's a financial guy right now, and we need as much information and as much as help, as much as educational things that we need to talk about with finance, and we go with it. John, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate it as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And we are going to get John back for sure. I love
Happy
you
to do so.
guys. Yes. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for being here.